Hey, how's everyone doing? I'm Baibo and welcome to my Thoughts of the Future, the podcast that explores what tomorrow might bring. So join us as we dive into the latest trends, advancements, and breakthroughs that may shape our world in the years to come, from AI and automation to climate change and space exploration. We will dive into the topics that will define the future of humanity. So sit back, relax, get some coffee, and let's take the peek into the crucible to see what's in the store for us. And to be honest, I didn't write this intro, but I asked Chat GPT to write one for me, so I feel like it did a very great job in here. And also keep in mind that the things I'm talking about in this video aren't actually guaranteed. So yeah, these are just thoughts. Without further ado, everyone, let's get started. So, by saying the future, what does it mean? Or we can say when, what time are we talking about? Is it a month later, 2 months, 6 months, a year? What time? Well, I'm talking about the year 2035 or 2040 or maybe 2045. So, at least 13 years later. And in this podcast, we'll be describing the future on many sides, which are the economic side, the political side, the community side, the technology side, and the environmental side. And as I said before, what I'm talking about isn't guaranteed. These are just thoughts. So, first, we're going to talk about the economic side, which means we're talking about banks, funds, commerce, ways of transaction of money. So, talking about banks, how banks are going to be, how are they going to work? Here's the thing, I think that banks will no longer be a place to check on your financial status or performing operations. They're just going to be like bank administrations and all that. So how does a person perform things? Or you can say how does he deal with money? It's all going to be online, as some of it today, and by all I mean everything: opening accounts, depositing funds, withdrawals. No physical documents will be required, not even ID card, which is like no longer exists. In the future, we'll talk about that later. Um, yeah, money. Now, money. What's with the money? Money is changing, of course. There will no longer be physical coins or paper cash. It will be just crypto. Or and speaking of crypto, all the currencies will disappear except for one, which will eventually turn into crypto. And what does it mean actually? Is the dollar disappearing? Is the euro disappearing? Well, yes, exactly. The whole world will perform his financial stuff using one and only currency and crypto, which is the same. And if we jump to the commerce, how is it going to be like? Markets and supermarkets will disappear, of course. Everything will be buyable online, just like Amazon and eBay, but in that time, you can buy vegetables and fruits online, and then it gets delivered to your place in no time. We'll talk about that also later. Now, how about people? How are they going to use money? Or in another way, how is the transaction of money going to be? As in today, credit cards will be used, but not any credit cards, virtual ones, and the transaction fees will be even lower or even gone. So we've talked about the economic side. Now I think it's time to get to the political side. First, I think there will be some new unions, and I'm pretty much sure that all the Arabic countries will be united and creating one whole country, and the current countries are just gonna be states for the featured country. And secondly, I think that the Europe Union will be gone because, uh, you know, some of the political and economic issues between its countries. And lately, I think that the Third World War won't be happening at that time. Now, jumping to the community side, I think that the relation between people will slightly be worse than today's relations, no matter what type it is. And why is that? Well, almost each person will be busy or connected, we can say, with some other stuff which doesn't allow him to do some things that he should do, which means he can't have a good relation between him and the others. Some of it will be due to law enforcement, and the other will be due to personal reasons. And the number of living people will be lowered all the way to 1 billion person only. Now, if we talk about the technology side, this is where things actually start to be more interesting. So, ID cards. ID cards will no longer exist. Everything will be stored in the database. So it'll be like, Bibo, since ID cards will no longer exist, how does a person identifies himself? So I'm gonna tell you how. I think that each person will have an electronic chip somewhere on his body which cannot be removed, and he has access easily to it without any issues. So the chip allows its owner to be identified, and also allows him to control certain stuff at his home without having to use the external control and without even moving around. You can imagine that. Now, if we talk about cell phones, what with the cell phones? Cell phones will also no longer be existing. A person can use social media and take pictures with the control of his own brain, of course, using that chip. And also, we've talked a couple moments ago about delivery service while talking about commerce. So, how's that? Well, Jones has a big role on it because it's the one which delivers packages to its destination. So, yeah, we also talked about traveling machines. Yeah, electric cars will be dominating, more dominating, you could say, which is something that I found more unfortunate. Same thing with the trains and planes and boats. It will be self-controlled, more comfortable, quicker, and smoother. Now, lately, we're getting into the environmental side. So, what's with the environmental side? What does the environmental or the environment look like? Are we sticking with Earth or what? Of course, we'll talk about it. The environment will be so much cleaner than today's environment, and the pollution will be extincting. So why is that? That's because of the big use of electrical equipments and tools, and some of the polluters will be avoided. And secondly, most of the animals will extinct, unfortunately, also, which is also, yeah, due to some illegal hunting system over time. And thirdly, the planet Earth won't be only livable place. Some people will choose to live somewhere in the space, either in spaceship or another planet or a moon. So that is gonna be also more interesting. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this journey of exploring the unknown and pondering the possibilities of what lies ahead. It is my hope that through this discussion we have sparked curiously and open mindedness within ourselves, uh, ultimately leading to a brighter future for all. As always, I encourage you to share your own thoughts and ideas with me and to continue the conversation beyond this podcast. And by the way, I also asked ChatGPT to make me an outro. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching. I will see you in the next video. Take care and goodbye.